Hey everyone, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, think of me as your mentor, or honestly, just a friend, guiding you through a pretty massive life shift. We're going to explore how to transition from this exhaustion driven life, where you're constantly trying to be whatever you think you're supposed to be, to a life that's truly wholehearted. Based on the groundbreaking research from the Gifts of Imperfection, we'll uncover the core principles of genuine living and help you embrace exactly who you are, beautiful flaws, and the whole shebang. We all get caught up in that painful pursuit of the ideal. We curate our lives, trying so hard to seem absolutely flawless. But as this quote points out, true courage is accepting our unique, vulnerable selves. Overcoming the deep fear of simply being who we really are is a major life lesson. It's about recognizing that the absolute bravest thing you can do is stop distancing yourself from the messy parts of your life and actually start owning your complete, authentic story. So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover the illusion of a perfect life, wholehearted living, 3 gifts of imperfection, barriers to happiness, joy, rest, and gratitude, and finally, your daily action plan. Think of this as a structured, safe path to help you defeat your inner critic once and for all. All right, section 1, the illusion of a perfect life, waking up from perfectionism. Have you ever noticed how in our modern culture, productivity has literally become the sole measure of our self-worth? It's wild. We think that if we just do more, achieve more, and please more people, we'll finally be enough. But honestly, this relentless hustle doesn't lead to worthiness. It leads to deep spiritual exhaustion. Why do we brag about how little sleep we get or how incredibly busy we are? It's a critical wake-up call to realize that our constant need to be perfect, to be in control, and to be relentlessly productive is actually destroying our joy. Letting go of that tight grip of control is the very first step to drastically lowering the anxiety in your daily life. Now, what's really fascinating here is the stark contrast between hustling for worthiness and authentic living. Living a life just for achievements means you are constantly pleasing, proving, and controlling. It's exhausting. On the flip side, authentic living requires rest, self-compassion, and embracing vulnerability. This perfectly highlights the fundamental difference between trying to look good on the outside and cultivating true, lasting happiness on the inside. Moving on to section 2, wholehearted living, balancing heart and mind. We desperately need an antidote to all this exhaustion and hustling, right? Well, that antidote is a beautiful, deeply resonant concept called wholehearted living. It's all about finding that delicate balance between your heart and your mind. Wholehearted living means waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night knowing that no matter what gets done or how much is left completely undone, you are enough. It means recognizing that you are worthy of love and belonging right now, in this exact minute, without any prerequisites. You don't need to lose weight, make more money, or perfectly hold it all together to be worthy. Section 3. 3 gifts of imperfection. The tools for the journey. To really build up this profound sense of worthiness, we need to gather 3 specific tools for our journey of personal transformation. The crucial point here is that courage, compassion, and connection aren't just lofty, abstract ideas. They are daily practices. And the beautiful paradox is that these tools actually grow stronger the more vulnerable we allow ourselves to be. Dropping the ideal image and admitting our weaknesses is exactly what leads to genuine human intimacy and true inner freedom. Let me share a really relatable anecdote from the research to show you what this looks like in practice. The author was writing a professional email requesting permission to quote someone, and gasp, accidentally misspelled their name. We've all been there, right? For her, it triggered an immediate spiral of perfection paralysis and intense self-criticism. But she consciously used self-compassion. She literally told herself, be kind to yourself, this is not a big deal. And you know what? Practicing that self-compassion immediately stopped the inner critic in its tracks. It's such a powerful lesson in how gently we need to speak to ourselves when we face personal failures. Section 4. Barriers to happiness, what gets in the way? Of course, this journey definitely has its roadblocks. To move forward, it is absolutely crucial to recognize the limiting life patterns and repeating mistakes that actively block our path to genuine connection. And shame? Shame is the ultimate barrier. It's a fear-based pattern that convinces us we have to hide our true stories just to be accepted. Shame whispers that if people really knew us, there's no way they'd love us. But remember, hiding the truth about who you are completely destroys the foundation of strong, trustworthy relationships. So why are we so terrified of just being our true selves? Well, we fear vulnerability because we are absolutely terrified of the pain of judgment. To cope with that, we try to numb the pain. But here is the hard truth. You cannot selectively numb emotions. When you numb the bad feelings, you literally numb your capacity for joy, love, and belonging too. Embracing your vulnerability is the absolute key to genuine human connection, because risking judgment is the only way to allow yourself to be truly seen and deeply loved.
Section 5, Joy, Rest, and Gratitude, Finding Our Light.
Once we spot those limiting patterns of shame and numbing, we can start to consciously cultivate practices that build a healthy, resilient spirit. Notice the profound difference between happiness and joy here. Happiness is often tied to fleeting external circumstances. It's largely out of our control. True joy, however, is a spiritual practice rooted deeply in daily gratitude and a belief in our shared human interconnectedness. Joy isn't something that just magically happens to you when things are perfect. It's something you cultivate through practice, even when life is incredibly messy. A huge part of finding that joy is changing how we treat ourselves, which means we have to actively fight that inner critic. Dr. Kristen Neff outlines 3 vital elements to develop self-compassion. First, practice self-kindness. Be genuinely warm to yourself during personal failures. Second, recognize common humanity. Understand that suffering and making mistakes is a shared human experience. You are definitely not alone. And third, practice mindfulness. Don't over-identify with or exaggerate your negative feelings. Just observe them without judgment. Section 6. Your daily action plan. Moving from theory to practice. Okay, knowledge is only useful if we actually act on it. So how do we implement these principles every single day to truly change our lives? It starts with actively practicing gratitude, maybe through a daily journal. Crucially, you must hold space for creativity, play, and physical rest without feeling an ounce of guilt. These are absolutely vital for maintaining a healthy spirit. It even means doing things like creating an authentic me music playlist where you can just sing, dance, and laugh without the fear of looking uncool. Trust me, letting go of that tight control and the constant need to protect your image will drastically reduce your daily anxiety. As your guide today, I want to leave you with one final provocative question to chew on. What would you do today if you truly believed, without a doubt, that you were already enough? It's time to stop hustling for your worthiness. Embrace your beautiful imperfections, step courageously into your vulnerability, and start your own quiet revolution of wholehearted living. Thank you so much for exploring this journey with me, and I really hope you leave here today ready to completely own your story.